Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here, and this is What If Naruto Went Back. Was sent back in time, part 2. Last time we left off with Naruto actually, entering the Chunin exams with Team 7, and here Sai won't be entering as he would be promoted on his own because of his just skill, and because he was in the route at first, and anywho now. Of course, Naruto, Tsunade would wish him luck, and Naruto would now enter the first part of the exam. He wouldn't know too much about this exam, just that Orochimaru attacks here and gives Sasuke the curse mark. He kind of wants him to get it this time, and anywho now. Naruto would get into the Chunin exams with his team, and clearly there would be a genjutsu which everyone in his team notices, and Sakura would actually dispel it, as Naruto wouldn't bother, as he knows that his team is more than enough to dispel this kind of weak genjutsu, and he's going to let his team do most of the work here, as he's just going to act like a dead weight pretty much, so they can actually get the experience of having someone who's injured or something, or someone who's actually not as skilled in a mission. But of course, Naruto is more than, very skilled, and anyways, now, with Team 7, Team 7 would get into the first part, the first examination, and that would go pretty easily for them, as, easy for Naruto, easy for the whole of Team 7 pretty much, and anyways, now, of course, Naruto and Team 7 would then, ascend to the next part of the Chunin exams so easily, once again, and now, of course, Naruto would pretty much tell them that he's gonna go to the toilet real quick and to do his business, not toilet because there is no toilet here. And anyways, now, of course, that was all part of his plan, as he wants Orochimaru to actually take a bite Sasuke, as he knows that in the original he got bitten to get the curse mark. And anyways, now Naruto would then actually appear as soon as Sasuke got bitten, and he would pretty much take on Orochimaru easily. He wouldn't be pissed, as he knows that Orochimaru actually turns good in the end, and he fought with them and with the whole entire Shinobi Alliance to actually defeat Madara. And anywho, now, of course, he wouldn't kill him here, or he wouldn't try killing him here, and he would allow him to escape, although he knows that this is not Orochimaru's real body. He knows that this body wouldn't be able to handle too much, so he tries a bit harder than he wanted to, so Orochimaru would realize that he stands no chance in that kind of body, and then he doesn't want to reveal too much of his strength, as that could actually, be troublesome, as Orochimaru would find out how strong he is, or make a rough estimate. And then now, Naruto and Team 7, Naruto Sakura would take Sasuke away to somewhere safe so he could recover. And then once Sasuke actually recovered, the sound trio would attack, and Naruto didn't know about this bit, but he easily ushered them away and knocked out Sasuke, who actually awoke in his curse mark state. And anywho, now, of course, Sasuke would awake once again, and this time he wouldn't be in his curse mark state, and Naruto himself would actually put a seal on him, as he would say that he knows a seal, and he would put a pretty weak seal that can be easily be broken, and of course, it seems quite good enough for now. It would get weaker over time, and this is a seal that he made himself before the Chunin exams, as he knew that he would have to make sure that the seal is very strong at the beginning, so no one would suspect that it's a weak seal and replace it with an even stronger one. But anyways, now, Naruto would make the excuse that he's actually been reading books about sealing of ninjutsu, and he's actually learned a lot of them, and clearly the proof is there, as Naruto clearly was able to seal away the curse mark. And anywho, that would be the proof that Naruto would give to the Hokage or anyone who would ask. And anyways, Naruto would Team 7 would then wait to actually start the preliminaries, as they were obviously in it. And of course the preliminaries would be quite different, as Naruto's in there now, from what Naruto recalls, and because Haku is not there. And here the preliminaries would go pretty much the same as in the original, as he wouldn't want to change any of the events. Just that when Gaara tried to kill him, or not kill him, kill Lee, he would actually intervene at the same time as Might Guy, and pretty much assert dominance for a quick second with Might Guy, as he looked pretty fearsome. And anywho, now, of course, Team 7 would then go on to their 1 month training, and Naruto knows that there is someone here that he would like to train with, and that is Jiraiya, as he knows that Jiraiya is still out there. And remember, Naruto is not at his full power or potential, or what he could be. He knows that he needs to train harder, and he's way stronger with all the powers that he has. Of course, he can use the Rinnegan for short briefs, or short bursts, and it's like a little power boost, like a Super Saiyan. When when Gohan went into it, at first it was just a little burst of power, or it's like a rage boost. There we go. Sorry, that's a perfect example for it. And anywho, of course, it wouldn't be literally because of rage. It would be because of a dire situation, like the Ultra Instinct, where you're pushed to an edge, and pushed to a really far edge. And anywho, now, of course, Naruto would then train with Jiraiya, and he would fake that he didn't know the Rasengan, and he would learn it instantly. Well, sorry, he wouldn't fake that he doesn't know it, but he would actually fake that he doesn't know any other Rasengan types, and he just brings it up randomly to Jiraiya. And Jiraiya thought of ways that's quite smart. You could be the first one to ever finish the jutsu, Naruto. And anywho, they spend time together, as Naruto did miss Jiraiya a lot over the years, as that is his only technically relative. And anywho, now, of course, Naruto would learn the summoning jutsu, as here he would actually have lost it, as remember, he did come back as a 4-year-old, and he's back in time. So at this time, at this stage, he wouldn't be a toad summoner. And anyways, now we would go on to Naruto training with Jiraiya for the full 1 month training. And anyways, of course, he would learn a lot, and Jiraiya would be quite surprised with Naruto. And Naruto actually recommended him to finish off his stage 1 training, as he knows that Jiraiya never mastered it before he trained him, and so he wanted Jiraiya to master it first before him, so he wouldn't waste any time, and he would continue his research on the Akatsuki, as he needs to find a way to actually destroy them, but at the same time leave Nagato, Conan, and a few people, as he knows that they deserve a second chance. Obito, he knows Obito's full backstory now, and so they would actually have pity on him and everything. And anywho, now, of course, now he would like Nagato to be alive as well, as Nagato is like the only other Uzumaki that is remaining from what he knows. Of course, Karin is too, but anywho, now we don't want to get into too much of that right now, as that will be for the next or later on in this part. I'm not going to say it. Now, of course, Naruto, Jiraiya would ask, how does Naruto even know about Sage Mode? And Naruto says that he found out about Sage Mode being a thing, and he thought that maybe he knew it, and if he doesn't, to actually start or finish the training, or if he hasn't mastered it yet. And Jiraiya does admit that he hasn't mastered it, he hasn't had the time for it, and so he promises Naruto that the next time they meet, he'll master it with him. The next time they meet, he'll have it mastered or something close to it, and he would actually spend his time to go, or use his time to go to Manmyoboku and actually train there. However, he wouldn't master it straight away, and then he would return. But that's it would happen over time, as Naruto would go into the finals of the Chunin exams against Neji. And one thing I completely forgot about is that Hinata would actually well, be able to defeat Neji here because of all the training she's, sorry, not defeat, but draw with Neji because of all the training she's done with Rock Lee as well. And Sakura would defeat Ino as she's much stronger here, and so Naruto and Sakura would be versing each other. But that was kind of minor. If you, well, it wasn't. It's not really minor, but I'd say it's kind of minor, as I just needed to quickly address that. And anywho, now of course, we would go on to see the first fight, Sakura versus Naruto, and everyone would be cheering on Sakura, as they kind of hate Naruto still to this day. Unfortunate, but Naruto doesn't really mind, as he knows that he wants to, change this world, change the view on him and the tail beasts, and he wants people to not be scared of them and not call them demons or anything like that, and treat them as living creatures, living beings like him, or not like him, because clearly he's treated quite badly, but treat them as living beings too. And anyway, now, of course, Naruto and Sakura would easily, Naruto would have a quite easy time with Sakura, just that he caught her off guard. He caught him off guard. Well, she caught him off guard, as her punch actually made a crater on the fighting ground. Naruto was quite surprised by her power, and he was like, "Whoa, calm down, please. You're going to make it worse for the rest." And anyway, of course, there was a crater. It was a pretty big one. She kind of did destroy, or lift the ground. And anywho, now we move. Naruto and Naruto would then actually go on to defeat Sakura with ease, not too hard of a fight. But anyways, of course, then we go on to see Naruto. We go on to see Shikamaru versus Temari, and here Shikamaru would win, as he's actually friends with Naruto, who's actually been motivating him to actually be less lazy and everything. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto would congratulate Shikamaru on his win, and now Temari would actually be very impressed by Shikamaru, and even more impressed that he's this strong, and he fought her with everything he had. He didn't hold back because she's a woman or anything. And anywho, now, of course, now Naruto would see Shino's fight, as here Kankuro would actually decide to fight because he saw that one of his siblings was defeated, and so he was like, we can't really, although this is an attack, we can't show that, or we can't show that we're weak. We can't show any weakness to our rivals. And anywho, now, of course, Kankuro would actually fight Shino to lose. I wouldn't say a loss. It would actually be a draw, because the both would be poisoned, as like in the original, not poisoned but severely injured, and Shino was poisoned. And anyway, I'll say that they're both poisoned. I'll say that Shino would actually have poisonous beetles, as he thought that the only way he could fight off poison was with more poison. And anyway, now, although he doesn't really like using them because they could cause death, he actually had to use them here because clearly his opponent was going for a kill. But anyways, now, it was more of a self-defense tactic than an attack, or a straight attack. But anyways, now, or a direct attack. That's how it should be addressing it. And anyway, now, of course, we would see that they both got knocked out, and they would actually pull a My Hero Academia and just do rock paper scissors on who would win and go to the next part of the exam. As the poison wasn't too, it was actually mild poison, so it was easily healed by a medical ninja, especially because Sakura's there. Sakura would actually have learned medical ninjutsu here because Naruto encouraged it, and of course Sakura thought that maybe she could help out the team more by being a medical ninja. And anywho, now, of course, Naruto knows medical ninjutsu himself, as he has a wood release, and he actually started learning it, as he knows the backstory about, or the story about Itachi and how he has this terminal illness, and he kind of wants to heal him because he doesn't want Sasuke to go through more pain, as he will go through quite a lot of it once he finds out about his clan and everything and what the village did to it, or did to them. And anywho, now, of course, Naruto, then it would be Sasuke's fight, and Sasuke here would dominate quite easily, as Sasuke is way stronger. He has the three Tomoe Sharingan, and he's been training with Kakashi a bit more than in the original. as Kakashi actually cared enough to actually train Team 7, mostly Sasuke and Sakura. Sakura not as much as Sasuke, as yeah, Sasuke had a lot more to learn than Sakura, because Sakura didn't want to learn the Chidori. It was too hard. She found it more of a drag, and she didn't feel like spending so much time on something that she wouldn't be able to use. And clearly, you need the Sharingan, according to Kakashi, to learn it. And anywho, now, uh, of course, Naruto would then, well, sorry, Gara would actually then go berserk, as clearly he's pissed off that someone is drawing blood from him, and the voice in his head, which is Shukaku, not his mother, would tell him to kill and not have any mercy. And of course, he says, "Mother wants your blood, and I will take your blood for her. I will make mother happy," and everything. And anyway, now, of course, we would then see the rampage of Gara, as he would go into his half Shukaku state, and well, the attack on the leaf would ensue, and everyone would be put under Genjutsu except for the people who are immune to it, which is Shikamaru, Naruto, basically Team 7, Tsukome, who was actually watching the whole thing, and Tsukome was very, very excited to see Naruto fight, as she's been longing to see how he fights. Well, she's been longing to see this, as clearly, Naruto. She wants Naruto to pass and win the Chunin exams. But anyways, now we go on to we go on to the Sasuke chase, as Sasuke would chase Gaara, who was taken away by the Sand siblings, as of course the siblings trio or whatever. And anyway, of course, Naruto would chase after them, and before he left, he actually knows what happens there. Before he left, he would actually leave a kunai inside, next to the Hokage, and he would actually throw it so it would be next to the Hokage. So once he returned, because he knows that he will return quite soon, he would actually help out the Hokage with Orochimaru and the reanimations, just like he did in his own timeline. And anyway, now, of course, we then see that Naruto would actually then fight Gaara, just like in the original series, and befriend him. Of course, Tsukome would actually be quite surprised that Naruto is this strong and everything. He can actually already be a tail beast, and she thought that she knew that Naruto was strong, but she didn't know he would be on a level of a tail beast. But of course, Shukaku was weakened because of Gaara's the weakened state and everything, and just don't ask. He will just be weakened here, as I don't want Shukaku to seem weak. And anyway, now, of course, Naruto is just overpowered, as we know it, and now we go on to see that Naruto actually comes in and sweeps the floor with with his wood release. Yes, he would actually use wood release to seal away the two Hokage reanimations, so the third Hokage doesn't have to use the Reaper Death Seal, as he didn't know he would use it, but of course he prevented him from even thinking of using it, and to seal away the two other Hokage. And anywho, now, of course, we then see the Hokage and Naruto, a really nice tag team, destroying Orochimaru, and anywho, of course, Orochimaru would be defeated, and right before Naruto or the Hokage could get the final blow on him, he would escape with the sound 4 and pretty much leave. And anyway, the attack on the leaf was stopped, and clearly the leaf took W there, and we go on to see the Hokage asked Jiraiya to become the 5th Hokage, as he wanted to retire because he thought that he's not worthy to be the Hokage anymore, or he's just too old for it at this point. And anywho, now, Naruto would, Jiraiya would decline and say that, of course, he knows who's more worthy than him. And of course, the Hokage would say that there are only 2 people worthy of this spot right now, or this title right now, and it's you and Tsunade, and we know what happened to Tsunade, how she doesn't want to be the Hokage. And clearly Jiraiya said he doesn't want to be the Hokage either, but he will convince Tsunade on being the Hokage, as he knows he has someone in his mind that can convince her. And anyways, while all this was happening, of course, the 2 Akatsuki members, Kisame and... sorry, that was my iPad. Kisame and Orochimaru, Itachi would actually, well, give the leaf a little visit, and of course, the it was pretty clear that they were much stronger than the Jonin there, and we go on to see, well, Itachi pretty much pulls Kakashi in the Genjutsu and Might Guy saving the day, and we then see pretty much Naruto actually go to find Tsunade, and here he would still be in that hotel room just resting up as Jiraiya wanted to go out drinking or out with the women of the town, and of course he needed to do that research, and now Naruto's left alone, and the two actually knock at his door. He doesn't remember this happened. Well, it never happened in his timeline, but of course this happened in the original, and he would easily be able to take both on if he was really trying. Not easily, he wouldn't be able to defeat them in my opinion right now, but of course with the Rinnegan, short burst of Rinnegan usage, maybe he could have a chance against them, but really they would kill Naruto if they were really trying. And anywho, Sasuke arrives, and Sasuke pretty much does something like in the original, just that he put up a little bit more of a fight as he was way stronger here and everything. But now we then see pretty much Naruto, Might Guy and Jiraiya saving the day as just like in the original. And anywho, now of course once the two Akatsuki members run away, Might Guy would take Sasuke away back to the Leaf Village, and Naruto and Jiraiya would go on to find Tsunade. Once they found Tsunade, of course, Tsunade bad master Hokage, and Naruto was quite pissed off as he actually started admiring the Hokage, especially the third and everything, and pretty much he always admired him, to be honest, but he now actually had a dream of his own to one day become someone like that. And also so did Tsukome, not Tsuki, as Tsukome would have wanted to come, but of course she realized that this is the time for Naruto to spend with his godfather. Actually, he found out that he's his godfather and everything, and he hasn't been there for his whole entire life. And anywho, now of course she accepts it, and she remains behind, and she's okay with it, to be honest. And anywho, now of course now Tsukome and one sec. Tsukome actually, after seeing the third Hokage fight for his village, she actually was very inspired, and she actually wanted to one day become someone like the third Hokage, protecting the people of not exactly the Leaf Village, but protecting the people, kind of the Leaf Village, as she's actually loving it there. It's like her new home, the home that she never had. And anywho, now of course she wanted to be it too, and she was already working towards her dream, as she was helping out the Hokage, as the Hokage would take her in as like a little student of his. But anyways, now Tsukome never really needed the training, but she would accept it, as she would find out how to be a Hokage and everything. And anyway, now of course Naruto would get pretty pissed off that she was bad mouthing the Hokage, and he told her to take it outside, and he'll show her a lesson. And pretty much, of course, Tsunade was pissed off as well. She was drunk, so Naruto would have had an easy fight, as Tsunade could one punch him to death and show him the death, literally the Reaper. And then of course he would avoid those punches, as he knows that he heard that in the War Arc she was able to punch through Madara Susanoo, which was quite impressive. Well, it was an impressive show of strength, but really it didn't amount to much. Let's be honest, Madara wasn't even trying. And anyways, now we then go on to see Naruto and Tsunade fight, and Naruto would actually use the Flying Raijin here and pretty much bamboozle her. She realizes that even although she's drunk, she realizes that he used the Flying Raijin, and Jiraiya knew about it. And Naruto did say that he actually did learn it because he actually looked in the scroll of sealing, and Jiraiya's like, never do that again because it's dangerous. But then he says that the Hokage allowed him because he has wood release and everything. And anyways, now of course Naruto would surprise everyone, mostly Jiraiya, because he knows that he has wood release. And of course Jiraiya would actually tell Tsunade that this kid is something different. He is gifted. He's more than just a fool like him, and he's actually well, he actually knows the Rasengan. He helped him actually develop a new Rasengan type, which Naruto was like, wait, what? You already developed it? And Jiraiya's like, yeah, I call it the Rasen Shuriken. And Naruto says, don't tell me it looks like a Shuriken or something, and you can throw it. Jiraiya says, well, I haven't got into the throwing bit, but that is the plan. And Naruto says, well, I had the same exact idea, and I was going to call it the same thing. It's a really good name. And of course, Jiraiya, exactly. And anywho, of course, because Ma and Pa said that that's quite a stupid name, but of course, they have their own tastes. And anywho, of course, it's not a stupid name. We all know that it's not a stupid name, exactly. And anyways, now, of course, Tsunade is confused on that. What Jiraiya just said. He has wood release, this kid, this right here, and of course, Naruto shows off his wood release and also shows her what he's capable of with well, not only wood release but also ice release and lava release. And anywho, now, of course, they're quite surprised. And anywho, now, of course, Tsunade becomes the 5th Hokage, and Naruto would actually then find out about Sasuke escaping. But here, of course, once they would actually go on the Sasuke retrieval mission, just like in the original, and the Sound 4 would arrive, and Naruto. Well, Shikamaru was the leader here because Shikamaru was well, declared a Chunin. Although Naruto could become a Chunin too, the Hokage thought that there should be only one winner, and since well, Shikamaru showed the cool headedness and the pretty much everything that a Chunin should have, even a Jonin should have, and Shikamaru has the mind of a Jonin. In fact, of course, well, of course, he showed everyone that he's capable of doing what a Jonin and a Chunin should be able to, and so he became a Chunin. And anyways, now, of course, well, Naruto's happy for him and everything. And anywho, now we go on to the Sand 4 and well, Naruto and the Sasuke retrieval team versus the Sound 4. Here, of course, the team is exactly the same. Nothing changes about that. And the fights will remain the same. Choji using his 3 pills and going to the red pill. And, of course, going against well, Shikamaru's wishes. And then Naruto, well, no, of course, Naruto would take on Kimimaro right at the end, as everyone would take on thing. Neji would take on Kidomaru. Sakon and Ukon would be taken on by Shikamaru, and Shino would take on Tayuya, I believe. Yeah, I was completely wrong. Tayuya is taken on by Shikamaru. I kind of forgot this because I haven't covered it in a long while, a few months in fact, and I'm very sorry. I haven't rewatched Naruto recently. I will rewatch it in the summer because that is one of my plans, as I have a lot of free time during the summer and I want to do a lot of things, learn how to. Anyway, of course, Naruto, Shikamaru would take on Tayuya, and Kiba and Akamaru would, there is no Shino here, would take on Sakon and Ukon. Naruto would take on Kimimaro. At first he had a hard time as he couldn't, well, he was actually getting caught off guard with the bone release that Shikamaru would, Kimimaro was using, but then he got a hang of it and pretty much wiped the floor with him. But of course, as he was fighting, Rock Lee came and Rock Lee said, go get Sasuke, and Naruto says thank you. And once he actually came to Sasuke actually went off, not because he's jealous of Naruto here, but because he needs more power and he's learned pretty much everything he could from the leaf. Naruto says, Sasuke, I know why you're going, it's because of your brother. And how can I say this? I don't want you to go, however, I can see the benefits in you going, but I'll only let you go if you can defeat me in a fight. And Naruto fakes that he loses it here. He would fight like in the original, and he would go into his one-tail cloak, and pretty much he would just use a bit of the Nine-Tails chakra to actually, give a challenge to Sasuke. And he knows that he could easily defeat Sasuke if he really tried, even without the Nine-Tails help. But he allows Sasuke to go away, and of course Sasuke doesn't stab Naruto in the shoulder, but he actually allows him to. Oh well, he actually just defeats him, as Naruto was extremely nerfed here, as he was holding back a lot. And Naruto would be returned to the Leaf Village, and Tsukume would console him, and Naruto says that he wants to go. Oh well, he would go on a 2-year training with Jiraiya, and this time he would take on Tsukume, as he didn't want to spend time away from her, and Tsukume would accept, and Jiraiya would accept, seeing, the possible ship between him, not him, but Naruto and Tsukume. Jiraiya was making moves with Tsunade and was actually going sailing. His ship was sailing, but anyways, now the third Hokage would train. He would train both Konohamaru and Inari. Zabuza and Haku would train together and become much stronger, and Inari and Konohamaru would become best friends, and Naruto would be helping them out in training. And anywho, that's where I'm going to end off. Hope you enjoyed it. Please take care, stay safe. This is also King Weaves, and peace.